So, if you would have to describe, like in brief, for people at home, in alignment parenting, or how would you call it? Like,
parenting the new way. These children are not your children. That's the first step. We have got to stop seeing them as ours. You may have been entrusted with this child, but this child belongs to the universe. This child has a soul stream which is old, if not older than your own.
yeah, probably.
This child knows why this child came to earth. Your job is to unfold this child, not to dictate what this child is. For thousands of years, we have addressed children as if it's a ball of clay that we somehow have to mold into what we want to see. So we as parents say, you know what, I want this child to be successful and to fit in the world because I've decided that's a high value. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get them to be inside that mold. It's a totally opposite approach from being gifted something that you don't know what's inside. Because you don't. When this child is born, you have no clue what its purpose is. You have no clue about who this person's genuine personality is. And your job is basically to facilitate the opening of that. So you do that by introducing the ingredients that allow it to unfold. It's more like helping a flower to bloom. If you want a flower to bloom, you know that you have to water it in a certain way. You know that you have to feed it in a certain way. You know you have to expose it to certain conditions. And from there, it naturally unfolds. So it's that process that we have to become super adept to as parents. And besides that, the number one tip that I could give people is that you have to have high degrees of emotional intimacy with your children. You need to see into them, feel into them, understand them completely. And we have terrible capacity to do that because we don't do it with ourselves even.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, the level of closeness you have to develop with the internal world of a child is incredible.
Yeah.
But when you do that, and when you mirror to them what's inside themselves, I can't even tell you the type of people that this creates. It's like you haven't seen a child like that.
No. I was just thinking about this. Like, probably these crystal children that are all coming in now, they usually get born with indigo parents, right?
Yes.
So I'm really excited to see what they will become. Like,
they are the most abnormal children you'll ever meet. I love them. They cannot be tamed.
No.
It is not possible. And I love that. It's like a disease, but a beneficial one across humanity.
Yeah.
Because these children they're not going to agree with the way that our society is currently run. And to them, unless you crush them into thinking that it has to be that way, with good luck with a crystal child with that, because they usually die.
Oh, that's so...
They're incredibly sensitive.
Yeah.
And so if you start to try to apply the same pressure that is usually applied during the parenting and socialization phase to a crystal child, they start getting sick. They start developing issues, especially gastrointestinal issues, and oftentimes they die. So quite literally, like, you cannot raise one that way. It has to be, I'm going to create an environment that is beneficial to the child themselves. And what you find is they have this kind of mind where when you say that a thing in society is a certain way, their answer is, why?
I know, yeah.
And if you say, because it is, they say, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
So they cannot be corralled, which is amazing. I love that.
Are they like Indigo 2.0, like even beyond?
Yes.
But I thought they were more sensitive. The Indigos are more like the warrior types, I guess. They
Yeah, they are more
like, no,
sensitive.
I don't want to do this.
Well, do you want to live in a warrior's world?
No, of course not.
Me
I know,
neither.
we just paved the way and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
We need emotional sensitivity towards each other.
Yeah.
This world needs to be much, much softer than it is.
Yeah.
All you need to do is to go through the airport security line to realize how damaging that is to the system, and that's the way that most society is. I mean, the average person, they get dressed, put on their shoes to go outside the door, and they're instantly in a space of tension.
Yeah.
It's like you got to put your armor on to be in this world. Mm-hmm. The crystal children cannot do that. And so what will you see as a result of them coming into the world? There's literally two ways. Either they die because they're like jellyfish in this world. They coexist with this world, or else the world changes to suit jellyfish. Now, it just so happens that if a world changes to suit the jellyfish, it suits everyone, because they're our Geiger counter. You know how there's like a teller species? So like, for example, scientists will look at an entire ecosystem, and if the amphibians are not doing good, they know that the entire ecosystem isn't doing good.
Yeah, yeah.
The crystal children are our teller species.
Yeah.
They will tell you what's healthy for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's true that there might be more resiliency in a deer in an ecosystem than in an amphibian. But if the amphibian's sick, it's not good for the deer.
Yeah. it's going to spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I do think there are some changes going on, especially in Holland as well, like in the way daycare is set up, and you know, they sort of try to get it. They don't really get it, but they try to accommodate them. So yeah. So, but what about in alignment parenting? It's like, if let's say your child doesn't want to go to school. I know this is a question. This is the same kind of question that people ask, like, what happens if I just do what feels good? So if the child doesn't want to go to school, you just...
We have a whole conversation about, you know, bringing awareness to why we don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
We figure out whether we can change those aspects of why the child doesn't want to go to school. You roped the school into it. I mean, this is the reality. This is the most important place for the child because they're spending more time there than with you.
Yeah.
So if you're not the kind of parent who's willing to walk into the school and be like, look, we've got these specific issues, and raising a conscious child, they will be able to tell you, I would love you to meet my son.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he's been raised with emotional awareness, his EQ is so freaking high, it's insane. He'll tell you, I feel angry because of this. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's a question why they're not liking school, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So if you can get that, then you walk into the school, you say, we've got issues with this. Is there any way we can work around this and work with it?
Yeah.
Because you've got to give any being the idea that they have the capacity to change what does not feel good.
Yeah.
It's a torment if you grow up with the idea that it doesn't matter whether you feel that way, it's how it is.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of a worse thing even for the expansion of society is why we're stuck. So basically, you walk into school, you have them figure that out. If you're working with a school that is unwilling to do any of that, you better think about pulling your kid out.
Yeah.
You better think about an alternative, is what I have to say. And in the future, the schools that will be created are schools that already think about this. I mean, it's already happening. We're already getting schools that understand that child-initiated learning is the most important thing in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm more interested in that as a parent. I don't care if he learns about world geography and this kind of crap. What I care about is he a happy person? That's my definition of success.
Yeah.
So what should schools be teaching children? First and foremost, how to learn. Mm-hmm. Now that sounds funny. What do you mean teaching someone how to learn? Well, here's the thing. If you give them the skills to read, you teach them how to go seek knowledge when they feel the inspiration to seek knowledge. That is literally the tool you need to give them for their life. If they feel inspired towards learning music, they will then know how to go follow the path of learning and education. Mm-hmm. Way more important than what we feed them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the world we live in today. We walk out of school with zero skills for relationships. And yet it's the most important part of life. So
yeah.
It's not about what we're feeding our children in terms of education. It's about how we're teaching them to interact with the process of learning itself. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm really, before that, it's just going to be up to brave parents to either create that for their children or to do whatever it takes to find something that, you know, currently exists that accommodates for that type of child. But we're too afraid of how other people think of us. I mean, I'll admit it, as a mom, I go bright red. I'm like, God, I do not like conflict. I hate conflict. But the question is it a bigger priority for me to avoid conflict and to like fit in with the rest of society and these other moms and all the teachers and be liked by everybody? Or is it more important that this being who I have taken responsibility for grows up in a way where he is unimpeded? Mm-hmm. So whenever that's the case, we have a very serious conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also there's another thing too. If you run into a situation, let's just pretend you run into a situation where like you're absolutely stuck. You're stuck in a situation where you cannot afford to break out of the system and there's nothing available to you except for this crappy school that you've put your kid in. The worst thing you can ever tell your child is, it's the way it is, end of story. You want to validate the way they feel, completely understand the way they feel, and then give them the empowered idea that in the future they can change it. Mm-hmm. So very few times I've run into this with like friends' children, for example. We'd have a conversation with a child that goes like this. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to me either. I don't know what to do about it really. But you know what's really awesome is that when you grow up, you can think of something to do differently. Maybe you can think of that right now. Mm-hmm. So that even opens a little bit of a window for, even if I can't change it right now, it's a thing in progress. And maybe I am part of that progress. Mm-hmm. So they don't feel like they're hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, they're stuck forever. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the worst feeling. Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good what you say. Like, ask them why. Why don't you like it? You know, because a lot of people